Just yesterday, I was talking about an article that was saying that men benefit more from relationships with women, romantic relationships with women, and they do worse after a breakup or after a divorce. This conversation, this situation with Bill Gates saying that his divorce is the mistake that he regrets the most is the perfect example for that article from yesterday. So this article, Microsoft billionaire Bill Gates says his 2021 divorce is the mistake he most regrets. Bill Gates was Bill Gates is a nerd. He's one of those types that probably started feeling himself a little bit when he got some money and probably thought, now I can go out and get all of the honeys. He forgot that his foundation was built up with this woman who was successful in her own rights. So he decided he bought into the stereotypes, or he bought into the talking points that men get better with age and men have all these options with money. But now he's expressing his regrets. Before I talk about that article with Bill Gates and his regrets, I want to come back to this article from yesterday. Here they said men value romantic relationships. We decided yesterday that no, they don't actually value romantic relationships. They benefit from romantic relationships, and they do suffer greater consequences from breakups than women. Women have this glow up once they detach that person, because that man, he is reaping the benefits of being in a relationship with a woman. And this part right here, the researchers argue that men on average rely more on their romantic partners for emotional support and intimacy than women do. They suggest that this discrepancy stems from the gendered socialization patterns. Men are less likely to cultivate strong, emotionally supportive friendships or family ties outside of romantic relationships, while women are encouraged to develop broader networks of intimacy and care. These differences make romantic relationships disproportionately significant for men in fulfilling emotional and psychological needs. And a lot of the time, men have the energy to go out and be community peen because they have a woman in the home that is managing the household, handling the things with the children, doing all of the emotional labor, and sometimes doing a lot of the actual labor in the home. So they can go out and be all loose and lascivious and have affairs and do all of those things that cause the breakup of the relationship. And then that's when they start to spiral. Anyways, let's get back to the article. All right, it says in an interview with British newspaper The Times published Saturday, the tech mogul said it was the mistake I most regret. The philanthropic power couple announced the surprise split in May 2021 after 27 years of marriage. After a great deal of thought and a lot of work on our relationship, we have made the decision to end our marriage, they said in a joint statement posted on social media at the time. Over the last 27 years, we have raised 3 incredible children and built a foundation that works over the world to enable all people to lead healthy, productive lives. Both Bill Gates and Melinda French Gates continue to co-chair the famous Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, one of the largest charitable institutions in the world, until she resigned last year. After the breakup, the 69-year-old lost their joint book club, his meditation buddy, and walking partner. You would have to put that at the top of the list, Gates told the Times. There are others, but none that matter. The divorce thing was miserable for me and Melinda for at least 2 years. Gates' success was the result of a convergence of an unbelievable number of things, including his marriage to Melinda, which kept him grounded, he told the Times. The couple met in 1987 after French became a project manager at Microsoft, and they were seated next to each other at a business center in New York City. They were married 7 years later in Hawaii. Melinda French Gates spent a decade developing multimedia products at Microsoft before leaving to focus on their family and philanthropy. The couple share 3 children together, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe. And so the thing is, a lot like it says, a convergence of an unbelievable number of things to help create his success. His wife was in the background, probably doing the foundational things to help prop his business up. She was not just the housewife that's taking care of the kids. She was a developer in her own right. She was successful and a career woman in her own right before getting married to Bill Gates. That's the thing about these marriages. These men get to have their faces and names front and center, and their wives are an addition, an add on. And we don't talk enough about the success and what the woman did to create success in the relationship. The man is the one that typically gets all of the accolades. There's a certain wonderfulness to spending your entire adult life with one person because of the memories and the depth of things you have done and having kids together, Gates told the Times. When Melinda and I met, I was fairly successful, but not ridiculously successful. So he's admitting that some of his successes, or a lot of his successes, came because of his wife. It says that came during that time that we were together. So she saw me through a lot. Gates said the divorce was tough, adding he was disappointed when she announced she would be leaving the foundation to pursue other philanthropic opportunities, reported the Time. Melinda and I still see each other. We have 3 kids and 2 grandchildren, so there are family events, he told the Times. The kids are doing well. They have good values. Melinda French Gates, 60, under terms of an agreement with her ex-husband, would receive an additional $12.5 billion to fund charitable acts on behalf of women and families. And please keep in mind that he is acknowledging that she is part of the reason why this company is so successful. So at least he's not being extra selfish, because sometimes when people divorce, they act like the wife deserves nothing. He acknowledges that his wife deserves something. It says in 2015, Melinda French Gates started Pivotal Ventures, an investment and incubator to help solve problems facing women and families. Her book, The Moment of Lift: How Empowering Women Changes the World, was published in 2019. So she's an investor, she's an author, she's doing all kinds of things. It says, why did Bill and Melinda French Gates divorce? Melinda French Gates opened up about the separation in March 22, in a March 22 interview with CBS Mornings anchor Gayle King, a year after the divorce announcement. The Wall Street Journal reported Microsoft board members decided it wasn't appropriate for Bill Gates to continue sitting on his board in 2020, while the board investigated his prior romantic relationships with female employees. A female Microsoft employee. So it sounds like he was out here being community peen. That's what it sounds like to me. I didn't know that there was a connection to Jeffrey Epstein. So this is an article that I found back in March 2022. It says Melinda Gates says Bill Gates' work with abhorrent Jeffrey Epstein led to the divorce. So maybe he was out here having affairs, but this was probably a bridge too far. It says the philanthropist added that she realized their marriage just wasn't healthy, and I couldn't trust what we had. All right, so let's get into some of this article. It says there were a number of factors that led to her decision to divorce her husband of 27 years, including his work with the late disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. The philanthropist addressed their divorce publicly for the first time in an interview with Gayle King, explaining that it was not one thing, but many things that led to the demise of their marriage. I did not like that he had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. She said, I made that clear to him, she explained, adding that she met with the convicted ex-trafficker exactly one time because she wanted to see who this man was. She continued, I regretted it the second I walked in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. My heart breaks for these women. In a statement to CBS, Bill said that meeting with Epstein was a mistake that I regret deeply. It was a substantial error of judgment. So I guess that is what broke their marriage down completely, and he's acknowledging that. And so that's what I think happens. These nerd types, these ugly ducklings or whatever, they get a little bit of money and they start feeling themselves a little bit like, I can get these women, I can do what I want. And then it made for the breakdown of their marriage. And now he has regrets, and he's still thinking about this 2 years later, or maybe 3 years later. But this woman is moving on. Anyways, I thought that was a perfect example to tie into the article that I did yesterday. Go ahead and watch that video if you have not seen it. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of this. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.